Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the LifeVantage Opportunity Webinar. This is Master Pro 10, Gabe Pearson. And I just want to welcome all the brand new distributors with LifeVantage for joining us with this incredible adventure and opportunity that we have for everyone that you love and care for. Tonight, we're in for an incredible treat. I have a special guest that I'll address in a couple of minutes. But for those of you that are brand new, I've been with LifeVantage now 12 years. First time in the network marketing arena. You can actually say I was a network marketer's worst nightmare for 12 years. But like everyone else, it was the overwhelming science that really turned me and helped me to understand how incredible this opportunity really is. I started out in the fitness industry as a health club instructor, basically worked my way up, owning 3 large gyms here in Jacksonville, Florida. I just got tired of creating millionaires. That's why I got out of the health club business. I didn't own the property that those gyms are on. Guess who was making all the money, right? I didn't own the finance company, made them over 200 million in those 20 years. And I didn't own the leasing company. So I finally wised up, got out of the health club industry, started my own personal training company, quickly morphed into a wellness company. You can say we're living the American dream until 2009. 2009, we lost 3 six-figure contracts in a period of 30 days, just really knocked us for a loop. Went from 18 trainers down to 5, beautiful home office with 4 admin, to my wife being the only admin in my home being our office. So hopefully that kind of helps you where we were financially. I got invited to be a keynote speaker in Atlanta, went up there to simply try to drum up new business, try to retool our business. And a complete stranger who was only with LifeVantage for 1 week had the courage to walk up to me and ask me if I've ever heard of a product called Pro Tandem. And folks, as I tell everyone, if there wasn't 8 to 10 people waiting in line to speak to me behind her, there was a good chance I probably would have walked away from her. I've never endorsed a product in those 30 years. And at that particular moment, this one wasn't going to be the first. But the next thing that came out of this woman's mouth literally gave my wife and I the choice 22 months later to walk away from the fitness business and pursue this full time. Best decision that we've ever made. It's been an incredible 12-year journey. Tonight, I have the privilege of introducing all of you to someone who literally adds value to LifeVantage. Just an incredible physician, incredible human being. He is a husband. He is a father. I can't say enough great things about him. A little bit about his bio. He's board certified in pediatrics and adolescent medicine. He was chief of pediatrics in the hospital in Brunswick, Georgia. Most importantly, he is a veteran, and happy Veterans Day. 14-year with the Army Medical Corps. He's trained at Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center in Aurora, Colorado, the Medical College of Ohio at the University of Toledo, Ohio State University with his BS and his distinction in microbiology and immunology. I could go on and on and on. Folks, this particular person is just a fantastic presenter. And I brought him on tonight to really help everyone understand the significance of this new paradigm in health called nutrigenomics. And he's going to walk us through the incredible science of our flagship product. Please welcome Dr. Neil Goodman. Neil?
Hey, good evening. Hey, how are you
buddy
today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for that just wonderful introduction. I really
Oh,
appreciate
you're
it.
welcome. And if you don't mind, I'd like to kind of keep this like a conversation between you and I. Okay, let's just kind of keep it real. And oh, by the way, congratulations on being a Premier Pro 6 in this
Thank you.
business as well. But let me go ahead and get this PowerPoint queued up for you. And let me just go through this disclaimer slide first. Folks, really, really important. You're going to be hearing all about lifestyle on my end. You're going to be hearing a lot of science on Dr. Goodman's end. And what we want you to understand, and what the company wants all of you to understand, is your success will depend on your diligence, your work effort, market conditions. LifeVantage doesn't guarantee any income or rank success. And what Dr. Goodman is going to be covering tonight is these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and these products do not intend to cure, treat, prevent, mitigate any disease. So I wanted to make sure that I covered that to be compliant. And I always like to start out with this average annual earnings disclosure. I want everyone to understand the significance of how big this opportunity is. And when Jill and I started 12 years ago, the only reason why we got started was to keep our two children in private school. And we wanted to make $2,200 a month and kind of weather the storm. And once the economy got back to normal, I would be doing exactly what I did for 30 years. And I want all of you just to kind of look at this third column right here. And what we're going to teach you, if you decide to get started with us tonight, is use this as a little side gig. We call it a side hustle. And look at these numbers. If you want to make it an extra $600 a month, or $1,500 a month, or $3,000 a month, the person who invited you will teach you how to work backwards to be able to make that happen. And if you do this business correctly, you will have choices, and you might be able to pursue this full time like my wife and I did 10 years ago. So we hit Elite Pro 8 on July 31st, 2011, and we walked away from the fitness business. And we haven't turned back since. And since then, in those 10 years, our business has literally grown over 5x. So hopefully you're going to see the significance of what Dr. Goodman's going to be talking about tonight. And I always like to start, our entire presentation on where this company started. And Dr. Goodman, I think it would come, it comes, if it came from you, it would mean so much more. So one of the very first questions that I would like to ask you, that you can share with everybody that's watching this tonight, is, why did you choose LifeVantage? You could have chose basically anything that you wanted. By why this particular company?
All right, well, that's a great question, Gabe. I got to tell you what, I think LifeVantage chose me, to be honest with you. It came into my life. I wasn't even looking for anything at the time, but I was at a point in my life and my career where essentially I was feeling tired, overwrought in my daily work. Doing pediatrics, I mean, essentially I was on call almost like every day. And the call schedule was killing me, and it just was so much work all the time. And I just never ever really felt rested, and it was starting to take its toll on me. And I just was looking for something to improve my physical health initially. And my friend and colleague approached me with the Protandem, the little yellow activator, as we like to call it. And she told me that, she had been taking it for a number of months and was really feeling very good with it. And that she felt like it would do me some good to try that myself. And because I trust her, and I trust her judgment and what she offered to me, I said, sure, yeah, I'll try that. And I started taking it. And really, to be honest, I wasn't really expecting that much. But what I saw is over time, over the matter of months, I was incrementally just getting better. I mean, I was less tired, I was less fatigued, I was sleeping better, I had more energy. Some of medications that I was using for some physical conditions, which I won't go into, I wasn't as reliant on. I just started noticing some things, if you will, sort of reversing. And I was like, what the heck is going on? You know, I mean, first of all, I'm a bit of a skeptic. I don't really believe things at face value. I was honestly doing it mostly to satisfy my partner who brought this to me. But then when I started seeing these things myself, I was like, you know, I wonder if this wouldn't help some of my patients too. And I actually started using it for some of my patients, and they were getting benefit. I said, man, I gotta find out what makes this thing tick, because if I'm onto something here, then the world needs to know about it. And so as I studied it and as I got deep into some of the research and the background of it, I became just really, really fascinated by the science of what this company was doing, what the research was that brought it to market. And then I started utilizing it, like I say, in my own life and then in my professional life.
Yeah, I tell you what, I have the same kind of testimony as well. I had very, very low expectations when I started taking this over 12 years ago. And I tell you what, I have not missed a day taking our flagship product Protandem since I became a distributor. So it's been incredible. And for me, it's all about mental clarity and focus. You know, I don't have foggy brain anymore. I recover faster. I just have an overall sense of well-being. And being 61 years old and being able to do what I do today, which is my extracurricular activities are surfing and working out. I can just recover so much faster.
Yeah.
So I want you to kind of share with everyone, who is Dr. McCord,
Yeah.
and what is he known for, and what is that little medal that's next to his picture down there?
Right. Well, this is a great story about this product, and I just want to second, everything that you said is absolutely true. I mean, physically, from the physical strength point of thing, I mean, I really wasn't in great shape 4 or 5 years ago. I've been on it now about 5 years. I've literally had a physical transformation. I burn calories better. I'm more physically fit. I don't get tired. My musculature is more on tune with what I want it to be. I'm basically the same age as you, Gabe. But let me tell you about this guy. This guy that's down below is a doctor. His name is Dr. McCord, and he was in Colorado, and he won the Cressy gold medal for his research and discovery of a particular antioxidant thing that the body makes. It's called SOD. He discovered that and published his life-changing work in that. And then he devoted his career for the next 30 years to define those sort of natural ingredients that could fight free radicals, that could mimic and or increase the effect of this molecule that he discovered called SOD, which has a big long word. It means superoxide dismutase. But in short, essentially, it's the most powerful antioxidant that your body can create. Now, there are two other antioxidants that your body create to help you to contend with a lot of things that your body goes through over its life. And those other things are called glutathione, which I think everybody's probably heard about glutathione. The more glutathione you have, the healthier you are, essentially, to fight off disease and different conditions, oxidative stress. And the other one is catalase. So those three things, he found that if he could combine in a very, very specific ratio certain herbs and certain botanicals, it was like searching for a needle in a haystack. He said he couldn't even believe that he came to it. But when he put those together into specific patented mix, he was able to increase SOD activity and glutathione activity and catalase activity so much higher, to the point where it reduced the body's oxidative stress by 40% within 30 days. And that was essentially in everyone who ever took it. And so he won an award for that. Go back to his picture, yeah. And he created then this substance called Protandem NRF2 and marketed it and brought it to market. And then it was featured actually on an ABC Primetime Live, which I saw. And if anybody gets a chance to watch it, they should, because in it, they had a investigative reporter who actually was there to literally debunk this and try to disprove it. And he took the product himself, and they did the blood work on him literally live on the air, and showed that even when he took it only 2 weeks, as opposed to the 30 days, which the Protandem company, LifeVantage, states, he was able to reduce his oxidative stress by 40 to 45% just in 2 weeks, literally down to the age of like a 5 to 20-year-old, and the man is in his 50s. So this was absolutely incredible. So what initially started to be an effort to debunk this product actually turned out to be the greatest sales tool that a company could ever ask for, because everyone was looking for it. And that started a whole barrage of further investigations, to the point where now universities and prestigious medical centers were furthering their research to try to prove this and show how efficacious it was. And literally, I think there are 31 peer-reviewed articles in the PubMed.gov, which is the NIH's Archives of Medicine website, where they looked and analyzed this and saw how just absolutely unique that this product that he developed and brought to market, Protandim NRF2, was. So if we talk about oxidative stress, a lot of people say, like, well, what the heck is that? You know, what's oxidative stress? This free radical damage we're talking about. When we eat, when we are exposed to environmental toxins, when we breathe pollutants in our body, when we exercise too much, we use fuel and we use oxygen. And the byproduct of that whole process is to create waste. But one of the waste products is something called free radicals. And the crazy thing about free radicals is that they have the ability, even though they're coming from us, they have the ability to damage our own cells. It's sort of like a self-destruct mechanism. And as oxidative stress continues to take its toll over your body, essentially what that does is it causes your body to start to break down and age. And literally, we've defined that aging is primarily due to the effects of oxidative stress on all of your cells, whether it be caused by toxins, the bad food that you eat, EMF, environmental radiation, and UV light exposure, even medications. So oxidative stress is at the heart of aging and cellular destruction. That's the best way.
Dr. Goodman, for the lay people out there, would a good example be oxidative stress is like maybe rusting, like an engine, or the apple, when we cut the apple in half? Is that what you mean when you're talking about?
No, that's a great,
that we breathe, it turns brown.
That's a great analogy. In an apple, if you bite an apple, it's white at first, but as it's exposed to air, it literally turns brown. You are watching oxidation literally in effect on a fleshy object, except what happens in your body occurs much, much more slowly. You never even know it's happening until it's so cumulative that, like I said, you hit your 40s and 50s and things start to go wrong. You start to have cellular breakdown and you don't move as fast and your body starts to ache a little bit more. Those are the results. So in that sense, it's sort of like an automobile, right? An automobile has been set out with exposure to the air, and over time, it literally rusts from within. So that's a great analogy.
So basically, folks, everybody, what I want you to do is put on your entrepreneur cap on, okay? And basically what Dr. Goodman just explained to all of us, because how many people do you know that eat? How many people do you know that breathe? How many people do you know that's out in the sun? So what Dr. Goodman just taught all of us is we all have oxidative stress. And this particular product reduces that process by 40%.
I mean, that's incredible, Gabe. If you think about it, what other product? There is nothing. I mean, people could take glutathione and go to their doctors and get a glutathione injection. That's hundreds of dollars, and you have to do it every few days in order to feel better. But imagine just using a dietary substance, right? Something that you take by mouth as an activator of your own system to turn on your ability to produce antioxidants by the tune of millions per second. And then think about it, the multiplication factor here. You have 37 trillion cells in your body, Gabe. And if every single one of those cells was turned on by a food activator that you take that's totally natural, there's no chemicals in it or anything bad, and it turns on your own cellular mechanisms to reduce your cellular oxidative stress by 40%, and that's just in 30 days. I mean, the more you use it, the more benefit you get from it. Some people reach levels of like 70%. And if you figure that all chronic illnesses. If you look at the circle here, look in the center, free radical oxidative stress. Look at all those body systems, heart, skin, kidney, joints. Those are all the bad things that can happen to you, okay? So imagine if all of those bad things that happen to those organ systems are at the central core caused by free radical damage or oxidative stress. Well, doesn't it make sense that that's what you want to reduce? Because if you could reduce that and reduce your cellular aging, literally you could have the effect on all of these body systems. So that's absolutely incredible. And that's exactly what they studied. And now I think there's like 250,000 articles on the effects of oxidative stress and illnesses and different conditions that people have. So here we have this incredible tool. Can you imagine? I mean, LifeVantage is the only one who ever discovered a product like this. That's how they got patents on it. I mean, they have 7 US patents. And they have 6 international patents. Literally, no one has ever done this before. So imagine a product this unique, and LifeVantage Company has it. Well, that's an incredible opportunity for people who have the ability to talk about it.
Yeah. So you're saying, you've said something 2 or 3 times that's has really got me excited. You mentioned the phrase that nobody else has this kind of science. So from a business standpoint, are you basically saying that we have no competition?
Oh, you absolutely have no competition. I mean, I like to say I have no competition because I use this, right? I use this every day. I share this with my clients and patients. They are hungry for it. And if you think about it, everybody in the world has oxidative stress. So this is a need that everyone has. This market for this product and this type of product is so huge. What we have to do is get the word out there that it even exists. Most people don't even know about it. Maybe some of the people on this webinar tonight have never even heard of this. So can you imagine that if you were the one who had this information and that you could share it with people, do you realize how successful you could be in this? Because there has been no solution for oxidative stress up to this point. Now, if we talk about how do people reduce oxidative stress, normally we do that by what? Eating healthy, right? Taking antioxidants in your diet, like a cup of coffee. Coffee is actually a pretty good antioxidant. I think there's 15,000 antioxidant units in a cup of coffee. What about like if you ate oranges? You could eat oranges, has vitamin C. Keep on that other slide there, Gabe, for a second. Oranges, vitamin C, vegetables. You can take vitamin E, you can take vitamin A. All these different things are antioxidants. But the problem is that it takes one antioxidant to get rid of one free radical. 1 to 1, okay? That's the issue. But we're talking, you have millions of these free radicals being formed every second. Like I said, how could you possibly, you couldn't eat enough oranges. You couldn't take enough vegetables, vitamin C and so forth to contend with all of that. You need some way to turn on your own cellular activation in every single one of your cells in order to produce that many free radical killing particles. And that's exactly what Tandem NRF2 does.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Walk everybody through how Protandem works and why it's not an antioxidant.
Right,
all
right. Okay, so it has in it 5 ingredients, okay? The 5 ingredients are listed below. They're turmeric, and everybody's heard of turmeric. People have been using this for ages. It's all the rage now, right? Everything's got curcumin or turmeric. Milk thistle extract, green tea extract, which the Chinese and the Asians have used for years and years, bacopa extract, and ashwagandha root. Now, these 5 things in and of themselves are antioxidants, right? But we're not using them that way. You could, if you took a teaspoon of turmeric, first of all, it's bitter. It may be difficult to take for some. And then the quantities that you'd have to use to get its antioxidant property would be large. You just wouldn't enjoy it. I mean, it would be unpleasant. It's fine to cook with and everything, but all these products by themselves have just a slight amount of antioxidant potential. But where the magic happens is when you put them together. Gabe, go to I think there's a slide there with an arrow that shows what happens when they're put together. There you go. So each of those on the bottom of the bar, the graph there, if you'll point to it for me, show each of the ingredients by themselves and what their antioxidant potential is. That is their ability to get rid of free radicals. But like I said, what happens is they're symbiotic with one another. They're synergistic. When put together in the specific ratio, and this is what the patent was derived from. This is what makes it so unique. Look at it, 1,800% more potent together. And if any of those ingredients is off just a little bit, it doesn't work. And that's the magic of Protandim NRF2. And that guy, Dr. McCord, did all the research that showed that. And it's been proven time and time again in the literature. It's absolutely phenomenal.
So basically what you're saying, make sure I understand this correctly. If I went to a spice store and I bought each of those 5 ingredients individually, and I took them, individually, it would not work the same way that Protandim works.
No, that's right. That's right. In fact, you defeat the purpose of it. I mean, you think about it. This gentleman, Dr. McCord, worked for 30 years to come out with all the different ratios that made this product synergistically amplify itself to the tune of, like I said, 1,800%, where it produced incredible millions of free radical killing particles of SOD, superoxide dismutase, and catalase. That was his life's work. And so in one small pill, and you're not even taking a whole teaspoon of turmeric, you're taking a fraction of that. The magic is in the proportions. And so that is what the patent's on.
So the synergy of the 5 ingredients, basically what you're saying, changes the chemistry and increases gene expression 18-fold.
Well, exactly.
The light bulb just went off.
Yeah. So what he found is, superoxide dismutase, catalase, and glutathione are actually produced by enzymes in your body that are basically sort of quiet. They get quieter and quieter as you age, to almost to the point, if you look at the graph on the right of the screen, you can see that after the age of 20, as you start to age, your level of superoxide dismutase starts to decline. And what happens is when you start Protandim, it brings it back to the level of a 20-year-old. So you're bringing your level up of these enzyme systems that were basically quiet. They're getting quieter and quieter and quieter due to this cumulative oxidative stress that you're encountering. And so as time goes on, those systems start to fail. So the whole idea here is by taking Protandim NRF2, you're able to bring it back to the level that it should have been when you were 20 years old. Now, ordinarily, like I said, you could take antioxidants, right? Like you would have to take 400 oranges a day to equal the power of 1 Protandim. Well, you couldn't possibly eat that much. 500 cups of broccoli, 110 cups of blueberries, 120 vitamin C tablets, because it's one molecule of an antioxidant gets 1 free radical particle. That's the ratio. It binds to it and converts it to water, and it's destroyed. That's how it works. But again, that's not what Protandim NRF2 is doing. Protandim NRF2 is literally talking to your gene system. It's a nutritional product talking to your genes. Therefore comes the word nutrigenomics, this is the science of nutrigenomics. And LifeVantage and the Protandim NRF2 essentially created that science. They are the pioneers of nutrigenomics, and with this flagship product.
That's why this opportunity is just so incredible. Folks, think about this for a second. Think about what you do for a living, and there's no competition. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? And that's what Dr. Goodman's talking about. What we need people screaming at the side of a mountain to everyone that you love and care for on this new science. So basically what Dr. Goodman has been teaching us in the last 10 minutes is direct antioxidants, meaning you eat it, drink it, or swallow it, can only neutralize one bad guy at a time. It's a one and done process. What Protandim does, it activates this pathway that has your body start making these antioxidant enzymes. And he used the examples of glutathione and SOD. Those antioxidant enzymes, folks, neutralizes 1 million bad guys per second. So what team do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the one and done team, or do you want to be on the 1 in 1 million per second team?
Another way to think about this, Gabe, is just a rephrasing of what you said. Is essentially you can either take antioxidants or you can make them.
Oh, I
Imagine
love
making them.
that.
It's
I love
so
that.
much more physiologic for you to make them. You
Yes.
make them. Your supply is unlimited. All it needs is that signal, the NRF2 signal, to turn on that system. Totally safe system. This is one of our innate systems that we were born with that was designed to help us get rid of free radicals when we were children.
So
And we're
you're
just returning this back on.
Yeah, so you're telling me if I'm on this product for 30 days and you took my blood, right? And
Right.
you're looking under a microscope at my blood, that me being 61, are you telling me that you'd be thinking that you'd be looking at a 20-year-old's blood?
Absolutely. Your antioxidant potential reaches the level of a 20-year-old within 30 days, and that's in 99.9% of people who have ever taken it. And I'll tell you what, it was so dramatic that Washington State University had something to say about it in 2015, and they said that it was may become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventive breakthrough in the history of health. Turning on NRF2 is the future of science. And I tell you what, the folks that are starting to use these natural types of gene activators, if you will, are the ones who are going to be on the cutting edge of the future of health and wellness. Look at all of the things, all the organizations and publications that were that listed Protandim NRF2 in PubMed.gov. Free Radical Biology and Medicine, Circulation, which is a journal created by the American Heart Association. I mean, every cardiologist in the United States reads the American Heart Association Journal of Circulation. Molecular Aspects of Medicine, Exercise and Sports Review, Journal of Dietary Supplements, Journal of Physiology. All these different universities, Ohio State University, University of Colorado, Harvard University, Colorado State University, Northwestern, the American Heart Association, American Aging Association, Texas Tech. I mean, these are incredibly powerful universities and colleges that all look at this science and validated it in the nation's database where it's published at PubMed.gov. And you can look this up yourself.
So folks, basically, we don't want you to take Dr. Goodman's, education or advice tonight. We're telling you, in addition to Dr. Goodman, is you have the most prestigious journals in universities. And by the way, there's over 40 universities that is now doing research on Protandim on their own dime. It's third-party validation, and I think that needs to.
Protandim Company had nothing to do with any of this. These were universities and things that were so curious about this incredible science that they had to go and try to prove it themselves and show what it does or what it doesn't do. I mean, again, trying to debunk the myth. I mean, it's incredible that we have access to this.
And Dr. Goodman, what I want to share with everybody tonight is, folks, I mentioned earlier, I've been with this company for 12 years. When I started in August of 2009, there was only 3 peer-reviewed published studies on Protandim. Today, I believe there's 31. I think there's 28 in the publication of PubMed, but there's 3 more that are being ready to be printed out. So think about the growth in the science that I personally have witnessed. And there was only 1 patent when I started. Right. And Dr. Goodman mentioned earlier, now there's 7 patents. Right. So, and when I started, there was only like 60,000 peer-reviewed studies on oxidative stress. And Dr. Goodman mentioned tonight, there's over 250,000 studies. So this is happening with us or without us. And I think what Dr. Goodman just mentioned, I'll never forget. I would much rather have my body make those good guys than me taking those good guys. Because when I take them, I can only kill 1 at a time. when my body starts to do what it was meant to do for the first 20 years of life, it neutralizes 1,000,000 per second,
Right.
24 hours a day for 11 straight days. So that's fascinating stuff. So let's get to, let's get to other products without going in great detail, because I know that LifeVantage is really focused on the activation of the NRF2 pathway.
Right.
And just kind of walk everybody through. If you look at these 3 bottles now, does that mean, Dr. Goodman, that LifeVantage has 3 pathways?
So, all right. So you bring up a good point. So, I mean, when you have success with this NRF2 pathway, which was created, over 10 years ago, and they then were compelled with the success of that product to look for other pathways that they could turn on and activate. That's what this company is all about. They're about pioneering the science of nutrigenomics, looking for these other gene activation pathways. So one of the other pathways that they chose to activate was the NRF1 pathway. And the NRF1 pathway with Protandim NRF1 seeks to turn on something extremely important in the body, and that is your mitochondria. And everyone knows, or at least you should know from your high school science and so forth, that your mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. If you can turn on the powerhouse of the cell, imagine how much more you can get done. Imagine how much more energy. What are the cells that use the most energy? Your brain, your heart, your lungs, your blood cells, right? These highly metabolic cells. So imagine the amount of additional benefit that a person could get from turning on NRF1. And then most recently, in 2019, they started to learn to exploit the science of activating the NAD pathway. And the NAD pathway is absolutely essential for life. And the NAD pathway really has to do with getting the gunk and the junk out of your system. It's the stuff that slows you down. And it's involved in also energy formation. But what's really cool about it is when you take all 3 of those things together, each one feeds into the other. And we've actually seen that original 40% activation of oxidative stress reduction by Protandim NRF2 goes up as high as almost 1,800%. So that's just something I mean, it's a whole talk unto itself, and I'll spare everybody, but it's very, very exciting. So just realize we've got that product. We're the only company that has it. But they didn't stop there, Gabe. They used that NRF2 technology in pursuing not only working from the inside, but also to the outside. If you figure that the anti-aging industry, if you put your entrepreneurial cap back on again for a minute, it's a $300 billion a year industry. And here we have this unique product that no one knows about. And now you know about it. So imagine what you could tap into in your own entrepreneurial pursuits in terms of making other people feel better and making people get healthier. And you have this answer for them. But we can also do it with the skin. We have the same NRF2 technology in our skincare line. That's a $121 billion a year industry. What about weight loss and weight management? That's a $37 billion industry. And we have these products also that are cutting edge. Then we put it also into the cosmetic industry in terms of hair and shampoo and conditioner for hair and making your hair grow faster, making it grow fuller and thicker. That's an $85 billion a year industry. Again, using the same NRF2 technology and these extremely pure and extremely health-friendly products that don't have toxins, they don't have environmental agents that would make you sick, that would get absorbed through your skin. And then we get further into the energy industry. Instead of drinking, a 5-hour shot of energy or a monster drink with a bunch of caffeine, we have smart energy. We have smart energy that talks to your brain. We have nootropics, which are essentially B vitamin complex and special ingredients that use NRF2 technology to enhance brain function and decrease brain fog without the letdown and no artificial sweeteners. So we have a daily wellness product to try to reduce the risk of environmental assaults from viruses and various other bad things that are out there in the world that contain a lot of health products that you would want to take on a daily basis to keep your immune system awake. But Gabe, I got to tell you, my Great Dane, I have a Great Dane at home here, and he hasn't barged in to be part of this webinar yet. But my Great Dane is on also NRF2, but for dogs. And LifeVantage, your dog ages at a speed 7 times greater than you. I mean, literally, he has 7 times greater level of oxidative stress. Well, we have Pet Tandem. We have a product to help to extend the life of animals, and it's been shown to increase the lifespan of certain male animals, male mice, I think is what they tested it in, to the extent of 7% extension of lifespan by reducing their oxidative stress. And then we have a whole body care, skin care line. So we've tried to tap into a lot of different markets to give people lots of different ideas of where they can. Not everybody may be interested in taking a vitamin. Some people are maybe only interested in cosmetics. Some people are only interested in hair. We have something for everyone, depending on what people's interest is. But they're all made with the same commitment to clean science and using our underlying technology.
I love the fact that the science is backed. It's heavily backed by real science. We're talking peer reviewed. And folks, if you don't know what peer reviewed means, and I certainly didn't before I got started. So everything that I'm telling you right now, I learned after I became a part of this company. It's the most scrutinized way to get something completely validated by experts in that field of study. And if one of those experts doesn't agree, it doesn't make it into that journal. And what I want all of you to understand, the science is done on the product, not ingredients that's in the product. So this is a new paradigm in health that all of us have a huge, not only opportunity, but obligation to share with people that you love and care for. People ask me, what do I do today? I own a global wellness business. And I started it part-time. It didn't interfere what I was currently doing. And if you do this business correctly, you learn how to become a professional in this industry, it will pay you like one. Always remember this: amateurs practice until they get it right. Professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. There's a big difference between the two. That's why the old saying is amateurs have to pay to play. Right? Professionals get paid to play. So I had great mentoring. I learned to become a professional in this industry. And because of the way that we are paid, I was able to walk away in 22 months. And I promise you, folks, the 30 years I was in the fitness business, the word retirement was nowhere on my horizon. And I'm certainly not saying I'm retired now. I can say this: I'm rewired. I haven't had to show up to get paid in 10 years. And I've built an annuity, and you can see what Master Pro 10s make, that pays me month after month after month. So I'll just close with this, all right? Because of the time, there's a huge opportunity that LifeVantage offers all of you. And I would get with the person who invited you, and I would thank them first, because you have the right list of ingredients of what we're looking for to be able to share this around the world. When I started with this company 12 years ago, we were only in one market, the United States. We just did a soft launch on the 2nd of this month to open our 24th country. We are in position to be in 100 markets. How much of that do you want to carve out and put it in your back pocket? That's how I think about this. I've watched this company grow from 3 million in revenues a year to just under $250 million today. And our next goal for this company is to move it to $500 million. How much of that $250 million to $500 million do you want? All right. I mean, it retired me from 3 to 200. Okay. So get with the person. All right. And this is what I'll share with you. Warren Buffett just came out the other day and said that if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you're going to work until you die. All right. Because over 97% of people in this country trade time for money. As great as a physician Dr. Goodman is, he is good as his last patient. If he doesn't have a patient after 2 p.m., that meter stops, right? I was a personal trainer for 30 years. All right. If I don't have a client after 2 o'clock, the meter stops. If I trained you in the gym this morning, I'm now unemployed until
Gabe,
I train you again.
think of all the people in the healthcare industry that are literally having to leave from their jobs because of what's currently happening in the world. Look at the opportunity that they have, that they can still interface with people and continue to make a living. Okay, and they can do this as a side gig initially, or they can do it full time. And honestly, you don't have to be a doctor. I mean, most of the people who are distributors in the LifeVantage company are not like me. They're not doctors. I just happen to see the light. I mean, I had incredible amount of overhead, incredible amount of costs to run an office, constantly having to be at the office all day long, working my fingers to the bone essentially. And like you said, if the patient, if you're not seeing a patient, you're not getting paid. So imagine being able to help people even when you're not in the office. It continues to go on even though I'm not present. And so for those people who have just recently stepped out of their previous employment, this would be a huge opportunity to become an entrepreneur and become your own boss.
So what we're talking about, folks, is what's called linear income. You're trading time for money. Dr. Goodman, what if you saw, my child, this morning, and, I got the bill, right? And then I send you that bill month after month after month after month, but you've only saw my child that one time. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
That'd be a huge thing. Are you kidding? I would love a situation like that.
Folks, that's called leveraged income. That's precisely why I was able to walk away, because I'm still getting paid that very first month that I became a LifeVantage distributor. And that was in September of 09. I became a distributor August 30th, but my first month in the business was September. I still get that paycheck all the way back from September 2009, when we get paid, tomorrow, right? On the 15th. And what happens, folks, that itty bitty little check starts to grow exponentially and it compounds over time, right? So my recommendation for all of you, and I wrote some notes down, and just see if I hit a nerve. Are you financially satisfied where you are today? Right? Are you on pace to retire? Or is that even an option for you? Right? Especially all the baby boomers and above, which is the majority of this country today, right? Or maybe for someone that's a little bit younger, that's maybe in their 40s right now. Are you looking for some retirement help? I'm talking about a side hustle right now, folks. So a second stream of income. Or maybe some of you just want to pay off some debt, or you might want to do what Dr. Goodman's doing right now. Is he just purchased another home and he's putting a new home together right now. That might be something that you might want to do, right? So we started out very, very small. Our goal was to make $2,200 a month to keep our kids in private school. And I'm not going to get into the financial side of everything tonight because I want to respect everyone's time. But all I can tell you is this. Dr. Goodman said this, right? And just ballpark figure, Dr. Goodman, if you're going to start your practice all over again, all the equipment that you need, what would that number be?
Oh, probably $100,000.
Yeah, think about that, folks. Even if a franchise, McDonald's franchises are 100,000 or maybe even more now today. I got started 12 years ago for $1,000. That was a one-time buy-in, and I just bought, over $1,000 worth of product. I only spent $1,000. You can actually do that today for $1,000 and get $1,900 worth of product. So worst case scenario, you'll become healthy if you don't share this with family and friends that you love and care for. It's a one-time buy-in. And then what's your operating costs each month, including payroll, taxes, insurance, everything? What it costs you to operate your business a month?
Yeah, so on a monthly basis, I was in the range of about $40,000 a month was
Yeah.
my overhead,
What
rent,
what would what
payroll, all
yeah,
that stuff. Yeah,
what would your bank account look like if it was only $200 a month, approximately?
yeah, isn't that great? Isn't that incredible? That's
Again,
the
folks.
that is the overhead to be in the Life Vantage company is
Yes.
$200, and you're going to use that $200 for your own self. They're your own products.
Yes. And I had three questions: the cost of getting started. And I just told you, that's the best pack we have. It's called an elite pack because you get the biggest bang for your buck and you create the right behavior. And you can have three of your friends, partner with you in this business that you want to travel with, have fun with, and make money with. And now you've got your investment back. You're already operating in the black. And then it just costs you, the most it will cost you is right around $200 a month, but minimally it's one bottle per tandem. It's $50 a month. You can go out and get three other people buying one bottle each. And as long as you have what's called 200 in product volume, or what we call personal volume, you're qualified to be paid 8 different ways. So get with the person that invited you tonight. They'll walk you through how to get started. Get yourself a Life Vantage ID number. Invite people that you love and care for on this opportunity webinar next Monday night at 7 p.m. And the beauty about this business today is they can be living in, you can have 7 different friends in seven different states. You can give them this ID number to this Zoom, and all of them from the confines of their own home you can show them this opportunity that's done by someone other than you, and you can build your business exponentially faster. When I started, we didn't have these Zooms. I had to do 7 different presentations with each of them. Now we can, this is a webinar, so you can't see how many people are on, but there's hundreds and hundreds of people on all over this country. So the 12 years that I've been in, my business does well over $1 million a month in revenue. I'm in 24 countries now. And every time we open a country, that's like a raise, because when you start to become what's called an elite distributor, now you're getting paid on every single product in the world. And Dr. Goodman is this close. He's one rank away from getting paid on all. I have over 100,000 people in my group. When he hits that 7 mark, he gets paid on all those people, as well as everyone outside our organization. And that's what caught my eye and my wife's eye. The 20 years that we owned health clubs, there was never a profitable year at the end of the year to be able to take some dividends, because the outgo was enormous, right? So it's a perfect business meld is what we call it. So it's a home-based business that you can operate from the confines of your own smartphone. So hopefully that gets you thinking about this business. What I saw 12 years ago was no competition. So that's like Dr. Neil Goodman is the only pediatric adolescent physician in the world, right? If we have kids, there's only one doctor to take them to, and that's him. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Okay.
Yeah, that would be a
You're
huge,
gonna have
huge thing
headaches.
if I was the only. Imagine having the only unique product in the sphere that does this. Not to mention how popular you're going to be with your friends and your family for making them healthy, and they're going to thank you for it.
Exactly. And then on top of no competition, what if ABC News knocks on your door, Dr. Goodman, and says, "Hey, Doc, we've been hearing nothing but great things about your practice. We'd like to do a positive spin on it. Would it get you a few more kids?" Folks, that's what I personally saw 12 years ago. All I did to get to the top of this company is point guy direct to a video and put them on the phone with somebody smarter than me. So don't think you had to, earn all these incredible, certifications and licenses that Dr. Goodman did to become a great physician. You don't. I'm just a person that can get you in shape. and I hit the top of this company. And if you look at this income disclosure statement, which in my opinion is absolutely incredible because it's unlimited. Every one of you that are watching us tonight, including Dr. Goodman, can make more money than me. And it's real simple. Just go out and build a bigger business than me. And so when you get to these elite ranks where it says Elite Pro 7, that's when you start profiting and sharing in 1% of worldwide revenues. The average check is $13,000 a month. There are part-time Pro 7s out there that are now in the 2% of the top income earners in the country. And then when you double that revenue, you get to 8, which is 200,000 a month in revenue. It doubles. It goes from 13 to 25. And then if you go to 9, which is $500,000 a month, it doubles again. It goes to 50,000 a month. And then you get to where I'm at, it doubles again. So it is a massive, massive opportunity. So if you don't want your company dictating what your value is to the marketplace anymore and says you're worth $85,000 a year and we'll give you 2 weeks vacation, if that doesn't sit with you, take a hard look at this and try to find a reason not to do this. That's what Dr. Goodman did. That's what I did, and we couldn't. And it's literally made a huge difference. So Dr. Goodman, thank you so much for being on tonight. I always love, you always come up with something brilliant. So now you don't want to be taking antioxidants any longer. You want your body to start making them. As Dr. Goodman said, it's a better tool. It's more efficient, and it's actually safer because you can actually take too much vitamin C and it becomes a pro-oxidant. In other words, your body's creating more free radicals, right? So it's a fantastic product that has heavy science behind it that every person you love and care for needs, and we're the only game in town. So hopefully that triggers you. Hopefully you're not going to be able to sleep tonight based on what Dr. Goodman said about the science and now what you see as a way out. So with that said, this is Gabe Pearson. We will see you next Monday night at 7 p.m. on Life Vantage's opportunity webinar. Every Monday night at 7 p.m., same Zoom ID number. Good night, everyone. Dr. Goodman, thank you so much.
Good night. You're welcome.
Appreciate everything.
You bet.